Hey everyone, it's been a little bit of time since I did a video, so I wanted to do one. And in this video, I'm going to talk about advice that I would give to myself when it comes to lifting. So these are things that I wish that I would have known as a younger lifter that I know now and that I've learned over the years. So getting into it, the first thing that I would say is to really focus on technique. When you're a new lifter, you get kind of newbie gains, and it's easy to get fairly strong pretty quickly. But as any experienced lifter knows, that as you get stronger, it's harder and harder to even add 5 pounds to a max or a lift. So really focus on the technique when you're just starting out with lighter weights, so that carries over into when you're doing heavier weights. And with that, in terms of having the correct technique, obviously that there's coaches, there's videos, form videos on YouTube. But the other thing that I found really helpful is to just film my lifts with my cell phone and then watch my lifts, and that really helped me a lot in terms of seeing what my technique looked like, seeing what I needed to change. And so that really helped me a lot in pretty much every lift that I filmed. So that's definitely something that I would recommend. The second thing that I would say is in regards to just things like rest and injuries. When I first started lifting, I just kind of pushed through everything, and I didn't really take any breaks. I didn't take any sort of like deloads or anything like that. I just kind of powered through, and eventually what happened is I found that my strength and just my energy levels just kind of plateaued. And what I found is was taking a little bit of time off here and there, or deloading, which is basically you're just handling less weight, less volume. I found that it actually helps me like basically reset. And so um, it's don't be afraid to take a little bit of time off. Even if you take a couple workouts off, if you're feeling banged up and stuff, it's not going to affect your lifts negatively at all. In fact, when you come back from that little break, you're going to find that you are probably stronger than you were before. A perfect example of that is going into my first meet. I had read different advice on what you're supposed to do. Some people deloaded, they had maybe one or two workouts that week. Some people took the entire week off. I elected to take the entire week off, and I found that I was by the end of that week, my whole body was completely recovered from any issues that I had, any soreness. And when I competed the first time, I did way better than I expected, and I felt amazing. So definitely taking a little bit of time off is not a huge deal. It's definitely not going to be detrimental to your progress at all. It's more of a mental hurdle that you have to get over. Um, Along those same lines are in regards to injuries. When I was younger, if I hurt something, like if I strained something or had something that was bothering me for a while, I would just kind of work through that. And that's definitely the wrong approach. The best approach, first of all, is depending on the issue, getting checked out by a doctor. But the next thing would be just to take a little bit of time off. Focus on other things, like if it's an injury where you can just kind of work on like accessories, like let's say that you strain your chest, your pec, you can do a lot more focus on your triceps without really aggravating the pec injury. So basically the lesson that I learned is if you're having some sort of strain or whatnot, it's better to just kind of take a little bit of time off, let that issue heal, and then you can go back into it. Because if you continue to push something that's bothering you, it's going to get worse, and you could end up with a really serious injury. So that's definitely advice that I would give to myself also. All right, so along the same concept of rest would be making sure you're getting a good night's sleep. Sleep is definitely extremely important when it comes to lifting, and there's a lot of articles about it, but sleep is a huge factor. There's times where I've gone in and I've had a bad workout, and it's not because I wasn't strong enough. Really, what it is that I just didn't have enough. I just didn't have enough energy because maybe I didn't sleep well or whatever. So it's definitely a good idea to try to get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. I try to get close to 8. It's really hard with work and other responsibilities, but I definitely feel a lot better when I've had adequate sleep. So some of the things that you can do to help you sleep, would be to have a sleep schedule. So wake up at the same time every day, go to bed at the same time every day. Try not to use, technology like your phone or computer right before bed. And if you do use your phone or computer before bed, try to put it on like a night light setting or a blue light setting. The other thing would be, I find not to eat super close to bedtime. Definitely avoiding caffeine after about 2 p.m. Those are things that I found really help in terms of how much sleep I get and the quality of sleep I get. So those things are definitely pretty important. Okay, the other piece of lifting advice that I have would be to record your workouts. There's a lot of people who go to the gym and they kind of just do whatever, and they don't really have any way where they've tracked what they did last week. So what I mean is you should have some sort of journal, whether it's a paper journal or a electronic journal, so that you can record the weight that you did, how many sets you did, how many reps you did, and the rest period also, so that when you're going into the next week, you can increase the intensity somehow. So you can increase the reps, increase the weight. You have something that you can beat from the prior week, and that's how you're going to make progress. Without having like something where you're recording your workouts, you could basically be doing the same weight every week, and you think you're doing better than you did the prior week, but you might actually be doing the exact same weight. So definitely recording your workouts is a very good piece of advice that I would offer. The next thing would be just in terms of nutrition. Nutrition is nutrition and sleep are just both extremely important. So you want to make sure that you're not just working out super hard in the gym, that you're also paying very close attention to your diet and the kind of things that you're putting in your body. Obviously, it's going to depend on what your goals are at the time, but you're going to want to pay close attention, and you're going to want to have some sort of plan as far as what you're going to be eating. Otherwise, basically all the work that you're putting in the gym, you could be just basically putting that all to waste if you don't have nutrition to back it up. All right, so the final piece of advice that I would give myself if I were a younger lifter would be just consistency. The way that you're gonna make progress lifting is just being very consistent. So consistent means following a program. Consistent means, for me, means trying to work out on the same date, the same days of the week, the same time of the week. It just kind of gets you into a routine, into a schedule, and it just makes it easier to just be consistent. And if you consistently do something and you're constantly trying to improve, you're going to see results. It's just as simple as that. So this is my advice that I would give to myself as a younger lifter. There's probably some things that I missed that I'll think of later on, but if you thought this video was helpful in any way, please consider giving it a thumbs up.